Viewers of Diecast, you are watching the Okie Diecast channel. And boy, do we have a nice video for you tonight. We are going to be looking through my Johnny Lightning Ford GT collection, the 2005 Ford GT. This is a celebration of being able to say that I have finally gotten the last Ford GT that I needed to complete the Johnny Lightning collection. I've had these for years. I've been picking them off, and I finally located the last one. So let's proceed with what I believe to be a complete set of Johnny Lightning Ford GTs. If you guys are a fan, if you know about these Johnny Lightnings, let me know if I'm missing one, but I don't think I am. I think I've gotten them all. I love this casting. You guys know that I'm a fan of the Ford GT. I have an Auto World collection, Hot Wheels. We just did a Matchbox collection. This is based on the 2005 Ford GT, and I just love it. Why? What are the reasons why I love this casting? Round 2, this yellow one was made in 2005, part of the Classic Gold release. I just like the casting itself. It's nice and heavy. It's got good proportions that match the car. They may not be perfectly match the car, but they match the car. Metal bottom, 2 rivets. It has a bunch of different kinds of wheels. It has a nice clear window. Nice clear window on the back with lots of engine detail. You can see that Ford supercharged V8. See the supercharger there on the top. Got lots of details around the car to the back. Lots of details on the side. Lots of detail on the front. This is just a plain yellow one, but when we get into them, you're going to see. You're going to see what I'm talking about, and you may just fall in love with this casting too. Now, when I say a complete set, Johnny Lightning, the chases are called White Lightnings. And I've been chasing both the regular and the White Lightning versions for a number of years. And I think I finally have all of them. This was the White Lightning. The White Lightnings usually will have some white attributes to it. In this case, you can see that the interior is molded in white. It's got a little bit of paint on that engine detail in the back. And they may have white bases. So for this instance, and they're kind of like Auto World in that in the series release, they'll have all the same kind of chase attributes. Kind of like Auto World. So for this Classic Gold release of 2005, the chase was white molded interior with a white base. The next one that I have that was made, I think, was actually the last one that I needed to acquire. This is the Gulf livery Ford GT. It's got a black base. Ford, the Gulf colors of orange and light blue. And this is the one I needed to get. I searched and searched and searched for years for the White Lightning version of this one. This came out of a 10-pack muscle car, 2005. Came out of a 10-pack, and I finally found the White Lightning version. The White Lightning version has white molded interior, but the difference is that the engine is detailed. and the white interior is just up front in the cab. This also has a white base. Gosh, I just love holding this casting. It's so heavy. And if you look, the tires have that inside, these are like speed tires. They have that inside lip that's raised just ever so slightly so it can get down the track really fast. Just acquired this car off eBay. It completed all the Johnny Lightnings for me. What an amazing, amazing find after all these years. This was part of the Muscle Cars 5 release. I might lose track of when these cars were built. And I might show you the White Lightning version. There's a white base. And also, like the Gulf, it's got a white interior, but the engine is detailed. This also has the racing two-piece tires. I'm going to put them up there side by side with the regular version from here on out, just to kind of speed things along. This is really, really fun for me to get these cars out and spin them around on the turntable, let them get some oxygen from being in the case. The next one was a Mustang and Ford release. Red White Lightning had a white base with a full white injected interior and an unpainted white engine detail. White with red stripes. This was a traditional paint from Ford. Pretty stock paint from Ford for the 2005 Ford GT. Man, just look at this casting. You pick these things up and they are heavy. Heavy, heavy, heavy. They roll really, really well. And the chase numbers on these are so, they're low like any other of the manufacturers. It's about 3% of the normal run. Johnny Lightning didn't number their cars most of the time, so I have no idea what the actual numbers of these White Lightnings are. This one, I'm really confused about the release of this one. I'm not sure where packaging this came out of, but I am almost for sure that there is not a White Lightning version. And I think they were made, this particular release was made in low numbers because the base is serialized with a domino print. 243. So, and all the information that I've gathered about the Johnny Lightnings, this one does not have any variation whatsoever. So that's one of the rare ones. I think there's maybe only 3 releases of this casting that don't have any White Lightnings. That was one of them. Let's see, the next one was the blue with white stripe. And the White Lightning Chase had white base, white interior, white engine detail. This was a carded release. Not quite sure when it was released. I'd have to go back and check the database. Like I said, some of these I'm a little hazy on what year they were released in. I have a problem, I guess, with Ford GTs. I just love to collect them, and I love to get all of them if I can. This was an interesting one that had 2-piece rubber tires with tread. Real riders for you Hot Wheels folks. Playing mantis, made in China. Sorry, my wife came in and interrupted me. I had to pause the recording, but this came with Real Rider tires. It came as part of a Calendar Girls release. And this is a pretty cool White Lightning because the White Lightning has white tires, calendar cars, 2006. I guess that answers what year. And it has white rubber tires. Pretty cool White Lightning if you ask me. Different. I'm assuming all of the calendar cars had that same attribute for the chase versions. Also in 2006, they used to have this thing called Lightning Fest. That was their convention, I guess, for Johnny Lightning. This car was one of the cars, exclusive cars. This doesn't have any variations to it. There's not a White Lightning. This is absolutely one of my favorite White Lightnings. Or favorite Johnny Lightnings. It has white with red interior, the super fast wheels. Lightning Fest 2005, and it's serialized on the bottom. Not sure how many of them they made. I've got a website bookmarked on the internet that says 175, but this one's labeled 190, so the 175 cannot be right. There's actually 2 of these on eBay right now from the same seller, but pretty cool. After that, there was a model kit, like a plastic model kit, that this car came in. It's a blue with no stripes, just the side stripes, black interior. It did come with a White Lightning inside of the model kit. They had White Lightnings just like they would any other packaging. White base, white interior, white engine detail for the White Lightning. Ford GT on the back license plate. Let me know if you guys love these Ford GTs as much as I do. You can subscribe to the channel. I go through all these Ford GTs all the time. Next up, we had a gold series. Kind of reminiscent of Smokey and the Bandit, if you ask me. At least the colors. Black, gold trim, gold wheels. This is also, I think, a 2-piece tire. Rubber with tread, yep. Black base. The White Lightning version was the same car, except completely white in pearl white. No idea the quantities of these cars, just know that the White Lightnings were 3% of the regular releases. Pretty cool that the White Lightning is just so different than the regular car. After that, they had a head-to-head set, kind of the same car. Black, except it had silver side stripes and kind of gunmetal accent rims. Black base. White Lightning was real similar. Oops. White with the black base. So there's the chase version of that. This one came in a 2-pack. It was like a box diorama with a Shelby Cobra. And it was called Head to Head. All these White Lightnings came in the exact same packaging. It's just they were chases. Then we got a Modern Muscle. This one had the treaded tires. Ooh, bare base. No paint on the base, yellow, no stripes. And one of my favorite White Lightnings was the same car except in gold with a white interior with a painted engine detail in the back. Look how pretty. I mean, the camera don't really do justice on this gold paint on this chase. This is absolutely one of my favorite Johnny Lightning chases. Came carded in a Modern Muscle set, 2007. After that, we had a Muscle Cars Release 15. White, no stripes, with these crazy rims. White, 5-spoke plastic rims, plastic tires. In fact, these are the speed tires, unpainted base. Another crazy White Lightning is we got a white base, white tires. Not really a fan of the white tires on this one. They just don't look, it just kind of, the whole car kind of reminds me of a toothpaste tube for some reason. Not my favorite release, not my favorite White Lightning, but oh well. After that, 2017, they started doing these Street Freaks with flames. Unpainted base. Look at the black with the flames. Get ready for the White Lightning because it is cool. This was 1A. The White Lightning had pearl paint as the base coat, and it had smoky mirrors or smoky windows, so you can see kind of it's tinted as opposed to the regular where you can see the engine really clear. So the White Lightnings on this release had tinted windows and a white base coat. And they only did the White Lightning for the A release and also the B release, or the C release. The B release was this guy. Black with blue, kind of silver going into blue flames. That was the B release. And then the C release got the White Lightning version. So the A release and the C release. I wish you could see that paint. It's kind of matte on the front. Blacked out tires. And here's the White Lightning right next to it. This was for the C release. I don't think the B and the D got its own White Lightning. I just think the A and the C release got the White Lightning. Or maybe they got a White Lightning, but they were the same as the A release. So the A and B release had the same White Lightning. The C and the D release had the same White Lightning. This White Lightning has a pearl base coat and the white injected rims. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet White Lightning, I must say. These actually were numbered. But I don't know what the number was. And then the D release is one of my favorite paint jobs of all these Johnny Lightnings. It's kind of a gunmetal gray with black into blue flames and silver rims. I love these Johnny Lightnings. I wish the paint job would come through on the camera real well, but the paint on this thing is just absolutely phenomenal. We're getting close to the end. This came out in a diorama, red with no paint, no stripes. This had the racing rims on it. The White Lightning was a white with white letter rims. White Lightning. The original White Lightning. There you go. 4GT on the license plate. Pretty cool White Lightning. The last one that they've released had a Gulf license livery. And this came in a 2-pack with a Mustang 302, I believe. And the White Lightning was white with a white base, white rims. Pretty cool. Everybody loves Gulf livery. And there's one car that I don't have that good a record of. And to my knowledge, there's no White Lightning for this car. And I don't have much information on it. I haven't been able to find it in any databases online. But I'm also not quite sure where it came from. But this one is absolutely different than the other white cars. It was a separate release. I cannot remember where it was at or where it came from. But this with the blue one here and the red one from the Lightning Fest. Those are the only three that I think don't have White Lightnings. 2 of them I know there's no White Lightnings. I'm pretty sure none of them have White Lightnings. 2 of them are in a database online that say no variations. That last white one, I don't have any information on. Probably my favorite of the White Lightnings. There you go. The gold, metal flake, White Lightning with the white interior. That's my favorite. But I love them all. And the fact that I was able to finally complete with the Gulf White Lightning from the 10-pack. I mean, I searched for years and years and years for that one. And then all of a sudden, somebody decided to sell one. Sometimes that's all it takes. and you just got to be ready. Let me see if I can show you guys all of them, all lined up in the parking garage. Look at all that Ford GT White Lightning awesomeness. Johnny Lightning awesomeness. Johnny Lightning has released a lot of Ford GTs. And here's hoping that they'll continue to release them. The last one was released a long time ago. I think, 2000, couldn't have been 2008. The last one they released was the Gulf livery. Couldn't have been 2008. 2018. So 5 years. They haven't released one in 5 years. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hope now you're starting to get a sense of how crazy I am about these Ford GTs. If you are a fan of the Ford GT and a fan of 1/64th diecast, this is a channel for you. I have a pretty extensive and exhaustive collection of 1/64th Ford GTs from all makes, manufacturers, as long as they're in the 1/64th scale. Go back and check out some of my, if you're a new subscriber, go back and check out some of my older videos. I cover Auto World, I cover Matchbox, lots of Hot Wheels castings, Green Light, and Ford Mini GT, pretty much everything. And I'm going to round it out one day with Tomica and Kyosho. I have some of those. I just love these little cars, little Ford GTs and Ford GT40s. So thank you for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share, hit any button on your website. Just go hit crazy. If you want to, just close your eyes and start tapping around on your mouse and your keyboard. You're liable to hit something that's positive for me and my channel. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed this video with Johnny Lightning, and we'll see you in the next video. Adios.